Heresy Squad has already gifted a membership, and I didn't even press any of the buttons. GG's in the chat for Heresy Squad. Thank you very much. Hello, Sigheep, Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor, Jackas Woods, all the way from France, and Heresy Squad. Hi, guys. Welcome to this Talking Tuesday live stream. Yeah, GG's. He's a legend. Hasn't said a word. Already a gifted membership. Thought I better click a button. Say hi. Evening, Wolfboot Chronicles, aka Stylus. How are you? How are you feeling, Stylus? And Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor gifted a membership as well. GG's in the chat to Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor. I've barely opened my mouth, and we're getting gifted memberships. Keeps the lights on, keeps the hobby train rolling. So I'm not late, Adam San. A wizard arrives precisely when he means to. Besides, I've been busy painting more Emperor's Children Terminators look. You're MC, I'm MC, I don't know what that means, Stylus, but thank you for the... I've been doing these. See, more Heresy, no, not Heresy. The guys, you see? And you can't stop. See, I'm not late. You can't, you've got to wait for the paint pot. You've got the thing, you do finish the thing. In fact, there's 5 of them done there, except for this one, which needs the touching up and the base. And then that's the base before Flock from marchofwar.co.uk. And I didn't finish off the last one I had to do. Because I knew that like you guys here, that I had a... Hi, Adam. You know what I mean? I've made it policy for myself to gift at least one membership a week. Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor, I might go on every night if that's the case. If it's once a week, though, maybe that, you know. Can't wait for my box on Saturday. The Emperor's Children box. It looks good, doesn't it? Looks good. I can't wait for my second box on Saturday or whenever it might turn up. I'm going hard into the Emperor's Children. Once I've got them done and the Chaos Land Raider and a couple of Chaos Rhinos and some Spawn, I'll be at 2,000 points. I'll be at 2,000 points. Hi, Iron of the Spoon. Iron, hi. Hello. Hello. Yes, so greetings, one and all. Welcome to the Talking Tuesday live stream. Welcome subscribers, welcome members, welcome Mug Club members, welcome everyone. With me, your host, Winters SEO, coming at you from sunny Swindon. It's interesting that Wolfboot Chronicles is in the chat, aka Stylus, because something happened this weekend, guys. I need to tell you about a moment of hobby heaven that happened this weekend. So, Brap came up with the idea. Stylus did all the... Sultan did all the hard work. And we hired a murder house in the middle of the country, which could sleep 20 people. And we went there late on Friday and murdered everyone with dice. There was lots of blood across the battlefields. There's 20 people in a house all together for Friday night, Saturday night. Some stayed till Sunday. I didn't. I'm old. I couldn't take it 3 nights in a row. Particularly after Saturday night, I went to bed at 3:40 in the morning. And we got drunk. And we played Heresy and Blood Bowl. And other people were playing Bolt Action and Marvel Crisis Protocol. And Stylus was there. Stylus did none of the hard work. He absolutely did none of the hard work. Mikey P, everyone there was absolutely... You're talking about hobby legends. Mikey P was there. AP Burn was there. Stylus, Monkey, Ollie, Sultan, Brapscallion, other people I can't... Jim, Stranger Come Knocking Hobbies, he was there. Lots of people that I've probably just forgotten who were there. The core. There was a lot of the core was there, and it was great. And Mikey P, everything was really good about it. Apart from Mikey P's cooking. I mean, he did step forward at the beginning and said, look, we all put the money in a pot. And then they went out to the shops and bought loads of food. And so there's crisp biscuits, all sorts of things on the shelves that you could help yourself to. And then in the morning, Mikey P made all the breakfasts, like eggs, bacon, piles of it. And in the evening, he made all the food. And I have to say, it was a bit mid. Apart from that, You know, we could have just ordered pizza. But apart from that, and the fact that we ran out of coffee on Sunday morning, so whoever did the shopping sort of failed there as well. But apart from that, and go to bed really late at night, and then waking up quite early in the morning with a mild hangover, I paced myself. I didn't get absolutely wrecked. I just got a little bit wrecked. And it's the first time in a long time that I've gone out and got wrecked. And then all the hobby madness, and there was like 3 tables set up, and I got to play a lot of Heresy and a bit of Blood Bowl as well, and it was fun. A bunch of people in a house doing hobby madness. Ads on a live stream, get it together, YouTube. Still keep, I don't see, look, what happens is you go in and you can tell, I can't turn them off, but I can tell them to put them on the live stream as little as possible. So I've told YouTube as little as possible, but you know. Ads on a live stream. It was a perfect, you were right, Gecko88. It was a perfect weekend away with the lads. I think it's something we want to do at Murder House like once a year, every year would be nice. You know, it's nice to have, I'm so privileged to have a group of friends who I mean, this is like, you didn't miss anything, it's fine. This is like a hobby goal when you're like 12. Hey, when we're older, we can hire a house somewhere and we can hobby for the weekend. It was amazing. It's just YouTube making that corporate money, but honestly, the advertisements help pay for the things. So, the new Eldar Combat Patrol comes out this Saturday. I didn't see it, and I mean, does anyone care about the new Eldar Combat Patrol? Of all the things that I care about in the world right now, it's not on the care list. You know what I mean? I mean, is it any good, the Eldar Combat Patrol? It can't be any good. 1, there's Eldari in it. And 2, there's Eldari in it. It's going to be a combat. No, you don't want that. If you're doing Eldari, don't get it Iron of the Spoon. What you want is the Avatar and as many aspect warriors as you can get, and do that new shiny aspect warrior host thing, you know? And they all get, just do that one. And then you can have all the colors. You can have all the rainbow. You can have the greens and the oranges and the blue. You can have all the colors of the aspect rolls. It looked good. I completely agree with the Eternal Crusader that the Eldar are for crushing and not for collecting. That's what they're there for, you know? If it doesn't have warp spiders, I don't care. I like warp spiders. I like warp spiders, and I cannot lie. Yeah. Taking 30 tournament... Look, good luck, Crazy Kill Switch. With your 30 Gene Stealers, I hope that you've got 3 Brute Lords as well, because Gene Stealers are better with Brute Lords. You like a unified colour scheme. Look, if you're doing Eldar... The coolest bit of Eldar is doing all the aspect warrior hosts. That's the coolest bit, right? That or wraiths. What else is cool? Hello, Just Craig. I am well. Thank you. Thank you for joining the chat. I hope you are well too. I've got my coffee. It's a bit late for coffee, I know. But it's in a Winter's mug. So anyone who is in the mug club, who wants to join the mug club, will buy Winter's merch. There we go. Servo Skull's gifted a membership as well. Thank you, Servo Skull. I didn't even know you were in here. He's been very quiet. GG's in the chat for Servo Skull. Thank you. I do not wear elf ears for bedtime. The only elf ears that I have are the ones that I've cut off the corpses and wear in a string around my neck. Massive Wraith fan. Exactly. A Wraith construct army is good because 1, they're all dead, and 2, it looks super cool. All the Wraith Lords, Wraith things, Wraith. The Wraith one is a good one, I think. Farseer, 5 Wraith Guard, 5 Warp Spiders, 10 Dire Avengers. No idea if this is good or not. Farseer with 5 Wraith Guard, 5 Warp Spiders, 10. I mean, look, all of those things are good. It's Eldar. Someone at Games Workshop has a bone on for the Eldar, and the Eldar Codex is quite strong. I do not have a secret Eldar army in the loft, Joseph Treem. Okay? I don't. Quiet in the back there. That's Heresy. Thanks, Killer Crease, man. Hugs to you too. Heresy, I tell you. Ah, dear. Crush the elves. It's the problem with the elves for me. Andy H. Thank you for your donation. Thank you. Mug for the Mug God. Hobbs for the Hobnob Throne. Thank you for your donation. GG's in the chat to Andy H. Thank you. I propose that Wraithguard are renamed Zombinators. We don't talk about the loft. But yeah, GG's in the chat to Andy H. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. We're not allowed to talk about the loft. There's a dream. It's a dream. If we win the lottery, then we'll do it. Even a little bit, then we'll do it. But until then, no. What? What do you want? Excuse me. My pussy is calling me. What is it? What do you want? You chasing your tail? Stop what? What is it? Yeah? You a good boy? Say hello to the internet. You're a good boy. Okay, bite me. But if you pick me up, I'll attack you. Get out then. Go. Here's my geriatric kid. Marius Gage, thank you for your donation. GG's in the chat for Marius Gage. Thank you. Oh dear, where are we? And the Hobo's been a member for 26 months, which is a long time. I have the Emperor's Children box set on order. May actually play this game of 40k this edition because of Emperor's Children. GG to Marius Gage. Thank you, Hobo, for your 26th. Get into, yeah, that's, yes. What did Marius say? I'm taking a meme list to an RTT, a firstborn battle company, 100 Marines. That makes me smile straight away. 100 Marines. You're going to have fun no matter what. 2 Rhinos, 1 drop pod, 1 dreadnought, and a captain. It's any advice on playing it to the fullest? Well, I can tell that, I mean, unless you've got some Devastators in those Marines, you're going to lack any long-range firepower. And Devastators are pretty good. You want to swarm objectives. What you want to do, I mean, if there's a lot of tactical Marines, I would combat squad the crap out of all the tactical Marines. And you're basically playing Space Marines in Horde mode to cover as much of the board as quickly as you can, to move block as much as quickly as you can, and to score as many secondaries and primaries as quickly as you can with as many units as quickly as you can. And then they're going to die horribly because firstborn Marines these days, no AP minuses on their bolters. The Devastators will be, I mean, that's going to be rough. You're playing Horde mode Space Marines to cover as much and then die horribly, and then hopefully have enough of a commanding lead in the first couple of turns that you'll do okay. Unless, of course, you face a really fast army that can get across the battlefield really quickly and pin you in the backfield. Yeah, 2 Devastators, 4 las cannons, 4 multi-melters, and 20 assault intercessors with jump packs. Yeah, the 4 multi-melters spilling out of a drop pod, if you want to do it that way, or 4 multi-melters hidden somewhere ready to walk around and shoot someone with Oath of Moment is really good. Oath of Moment is quite strong these days with that +1 to wound. +1 to wound on an Oath of Moment target means bolt guns are wounding anything on 5s, minimum 5s. So yeah. Where are we? What chapter? Need to get some. Where are we? Hi, Blood Buffalo. Welcome. Yeah, do you mean 20? So yeah, I need to get some more commissions on board and want to kill a Kriegsman. Killer Kriegsman needs some commissions. Killer Kriegsman is in the Winter's SEO Discord. If you want some commission work done, hit up Killer Kriegsman. He needs some commissions. He's bored. He wants to paint bulk, particularly if you've got some bulk infantry. Hit up Killer Kriegsman. What chapter? The 13th. I'm assuming you're talking to Marius there. Probably. So yeah, where were we? Murder House. The Murder House was lovely. Had a great weekend. I've just about recovered by now. That was really good fun. And yeah, I've been painting up the Emperor's Children. I've still got the Land Raider to do, the Rhinos to do, and the Spawn to do for now. Then the second box, and then Fulgrim and the other characters, and they all turn up. And this is going to be a project you're going to see it expand over a few months, and a number of battle reports, and then I'll do a video on it by the end, like, here, this is what I got to, because I want to add demons to it in the end. And yeah, so there'll be a video. This is what I've got, and this is why I've got it. And I keep meaning to do a painting tutorial. Like last time I spoke to you, last Talkie Tuesday, I said I was doing 5 Noise Marines, and I left one to do a painting tutorial. And then I didn't do the painting tutorial. I just want to paint them. So I finished off the 6 Noise Marines. I'm up to 12 Noise Marines. Up to 12 of these bad boys. I think I promised the last one, because there's going to be 4 because of the 2 box sets, to Stylus. I think. The only thing that would make a 40k stream better is going back 10 years and making a 30k stream. This is the 30k or 40k. We can talk. It should be just Warhammer live stream. Sorry, the title is a yes. We can talk Heresy. Maybe I should do a Heresy exclusive live stream at one. Is that a good idea? Just sit like Heresy only Warhammer live stream. Should we do one of them? I mean, I'm worried that we might only get like half the number of people turn up to actually listen to me bang on about Heresy for a bit, but we could do one of them. Going to be using some of the Heresy models of also. Yeah, okay. Going to be using some of the Emperor. I was thinking about using, to bolster my Emperor's Children force, I was thinking about using Heresy era pattern rhinos, because surely after 10,000 years they look after them. They're perfect rhinos, you know. Wishes for tomorrow's balance update. Yes, that it doesn't happen, because it invalidates certain battle reports. I wish I could afford a Heresy army talk. No, yes. Terrible question. How do I accept the finality of quickly becoming blind? I've gone from pilot vision to potato vision in a couple of years. Thoughts? Dude, damn Legion, that is a heavy question. I don't know how you're asking me? You're asking me. First off, you have my entire sympathies, because I'm really screwed in this eye in particular. I go to the hospital every 6 months. I take eye things. They do all the thing. I get injections in it from time to time. This one's screwed. Which is why when it comes to painting, it's all washes and dry brushes. This is screwed. After the depression and stuff, or during the depression stuff, there was loads of physical things that happened to me, and as well as the gut and the migraines and the skin and the back and the food and the sleep. My eye went. So I know what it's like to... I mean, I wear the glasses to paint now. It's horrible. And I don't know what I would do if I lose this one, then at least I've got the other one. But both of them, my thoughts on it are, that sucks. And I feel sorry for you, and hang in there. And there's always an upside, isn't there? There's always an upside to everything. Like, you could be in prison, but it could be July and 30 degrees out, you know? There's always an upside. If you do go blind, the upside is you don't ever have to look at Eldar models again. Or poo that a dog has left on the sidewalk. You'll just step into it because you won't see it, so that's a downside. There's an upside. You wouldn't be Ice Spice. You can't ever see Ice Spice again. These are bonuses. There are bonuses, you know? You know. Thanks, mate. She'll be right. Yeah. The Mechanicum can sort it out for you, says Adam Sand. Talk to the Mechanicum, get some bionic things locked in face. How would I start a whole... So that's a nice question. How would I start a Heresy Ultramarines army? The first thing I would do is get the really big box, because The really big Age of Darkness box works well with certain legions and better with others. And the Ultramarines had access to everything. So that really big box is good. And it's also got 30, 40 tactical marines in it. And you want lots of tactical marines if you're Ultramarines with your Nuncio Voxes. They have all the stuff with the Nuncio Voxes, the banners, things like that. Right, so Ultramarines are a shooty army. That's where their benefits come from. I mean, they're good in close combat, they're good, but they have benefits for shooting. So you want to tool them up for shooting. The first thing you want to do is check out Blackbriar Gaming on YouTube, which will have a 20-minute, 30-minute breakdown on Ultramarines. And that is the shortest, concise. Check that out. But the other thing you need to do is, so Ultramarines, if they shoot a thing and there's another unit close to the thing that shoots the thing, then the other unit get a buff. So what you want is you want some units in the backfield that are dedicated shooty that hit on 2s. And I'm thinking Derrideo Dreadnoughts, or I'm thinking you can bring a Contemptor Dreadnought Talon and give 1-2 las cannons, and the other 1 or 2 Contemptor Dreadnoughts are just pushing forward. But you bring one at least with 2 las cannons, have a Derrideo in the background, they hit on 2s. And so you've got some long-range dagger hitting on 2s, and then the other things next to them that are shooting will also be hitting on 2s with the +1 to hit because they've got a thing nearby. That's how I would build that in. So all about shooting better, hitting better. I would have, so in the backfield, so Contemptor Dreadnoughts, Derrideos, yes. Then you'd have some tanks back there, full as you have some tanks back there, or some other things, or some heavy units, full on las cannon, Devastator Squad, full on Volkite, Devastator Squad, something back there that can benefit from all the guns, and then forward, you got forward Invictara Suzerain with the shields and the things, they're really good. Assault Marines, really good. A Scout Squad, not a Scout Squad, but Legion Recon Squad, infiltrated up the line, really good. Some snipers, really good. Anything really. Add the stuff to. That's where I'd start. That's where I would start it. Does that make sense? That makes sense. I'd need to think about it a bit more, but anything that can improve the amount of gun that they lay down. Big box will probably gone in the summer when the new box comes out. So I think the big box. So there's a new box coming. Rumors persist that Heresy 3.0 or Heresy 2.1 is coming out. That is a tidying up of the previous edition. What they did between Heresy 1 and Heresy 2 is they did a tidying up of the previous edition, and I'm hoping that this is what this one is as well. Not a whole new reset, but a tidying up of the previous edition, because we don't need a whole new rule set. What we need is the miniatures in Heresy 2.0 that you can't get, the rapier batteries, the javelins, the plastic stuff that we've been waiting for the last 2.5 years. Release that with a tidied, tight rule set. Boom, off you go. You know? 30k Ultras love rhinos for deep access to the Legion trait plus. Yes, exactly. So you have a rhino shooting at a thing that will hit on 3s with a couple of bolters, but the unit that got out next to it, they'll be hitting on 2s. Awesomeness. Jackus Woods just gifted 10 memberships. GG's in the chat for Jackus Woods. We are on a dono train this evening. Thank you so much. There's like 9 already. That's amazing. Thank you. Massive GG's in the chat. Thank you, Jackus Woods, all the way from France. Last big top was from Modern Glory Shadow. If anyone needs to work down, whenever this look identical, there's definitely Killer Kriegsman does commission work. Check him out in the Discord. I know they're slowly going through updating mods. I can't get in their horror series room, and they go, yes, yeah. I mean, one of the things we need is the Legion specific units available in plastic, other than just Praetors and things. Looking forward to that. But I hope the next Heresy. So Heresy 3.0 sounds like it's going to be Heresy 2.1, which is the same rule set with some tidied and tweaked up stuff with a new big box launch. And rumors have the plastic rapiers will be in there finally, and we need something in it like in plastic, which are a nice centerpiece. Like in the last one, they had plastic Spartan for the first time ever. Loads of people got it. Plastic Spartan, great pull, get that. And when the new box set releases, you want to pick up at least one of the other old age. That old Age of Darkness box set is good for it saves you like £130. It's good. You're going to want all of those miniatures in it. The one that they did in the meantime with the Derrideo and the Land Raider and the Mark, all the main boxes that they've done so far for Heresy have been good value for money with all the units that you'll want. Like their Mechanicum Heavy Support Box, which I did a video on. You want it. If you're collecting Mechanicum, you want it. But you only want one, which is weird because of the Crackness Heavy Assault. You don't want two, unless you're going to run two Crackness Assault. But why would you do that? Fill it up in your heavy slot, one on one, leaving only one left in your heavy slot and the Mechanicum slot when there's so many other... You wouldn't want to do that. You don't want to do that. But all the box sets have been good. All the box sets so far I have had multiple of, except for the Mechanicum Heavy Support Box. You know what I mean? We need plastic breeches. We do need plastic breeches. Or you don't need plastic breeches. What you need to do is just get Tactical Marines and then go to muchofwar.co.uk. And he sells loads of Legionish specific shields, with the symbols on the shields. It's how I did my Iron Hands. And you can get bolt guns and chainswords and all that sort of stuff. And it'll probably be cheaper than Games Workshop releasing plastic breeches. Go there, get your shields and get your guns that you want with your breeches from muchofwar.co.uk. But yeah, thanks guys, donations, appreciate it. When I was at Warhammer World for their anniversary, an employee there told me the new Heresy should tie in with their new factory coming online. Yeah, so we know they can't keep up with production right now because a couple of years ago it was Fantasy, it was AOS and 40k, and now it's AOS, 40k, Old World, Heresy, 4 major game systems. And if you're a Heresy player, like I got Fulgrim up there, it took me 9 months to get Fulgrim. Sometimes you have to wait, and I was talking to someone at the weekend at the Murder House, they were waiting for 12 months for a thing. You can't get the miniatures, so they're building a new factory. That one doesn't come online until spring next year. Spring next year, they can up their production capacity and perhaps keep up with some of the stuff, Bring back the Ironclad, yes. Bring back Contacard, Terminators, Dreadnoughts, and Ironclads in Heresy, yes. Adam Sand, thank you for your donation. Who would win in an arm wrestle between an Ogren and Custodes in his underpants? Custodes. Custodes would... Ogrens... It's probably a Custodes. Have you seen online those arm wrestling videos when they have those massive big bodybuilders and then there's a professional arm wrestler and the professional arm wrestler beats the massive big bodybuilder because there's techniques and certain things, and I think a Custodes would have it. I think it depends how angry the Ogren is. If you get the Ogren really angry, he might win. Custodes would let the Ogren win, would he? Would they? These things keep me awake at night. He would win an arm wrestle between an Ogren and a Custodes in his underpants. Yeah, these things have to keep you awake at night. These are the important questions. We're asking all the important questions here. According to Terra, the Custodes win all the time. Just the Custodes win. An Ogren is an abhuman. And there's nothing abhuman about a Custodes or a Space Marines at all. They're perfectly normal-sized humans with the perfect number of organs in them. Nothing abhuman or heretical about Custodes whatsoever. Just Ratlins and Ogrins and Beastmen and people like that. They're the abhumans. They're the unusual humans. Custodes are fine. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm hoping the Heresy box set, when it comes out, is a lovely, nice box. And I'm hoping they don't change the Heresy rules too much. Just tweak it. Because it's... See, of all the war games I've played for the many, many, many years, and all the skirmish... This current edition of the Heresy rule set, yes, there's a few things everyone would like to tweak. but it is a very good rule set. It's a very good rule set. So I'm worried about them. It's the interesting thing. Like, you talk to 40k players, and we had it in the chat earlier on. There's a balanced data slate thing coming out soon, and everyone's interested who plays 40k, like what they're going to change. I'm hoping for this, I'm hoping for that. And people are even talking about the next edition. Hopefully 11th edition. 10th edition is the competitive edition. 10th edition is Gigasweat 40k. And so there's a lot of people out there waiting for 11th edition already, and happy and excited for it, thinking, okay, hopefully 11th edition won't be Gigasweat 40k. There'll be some Gigasweat, but also maybe they'll throw a bone to the rest of us casual players, narrative bunnies, things like that. People who are 40k players are looking forward to a change already. Heresy players, every single one you talk to says, please don't touch it. I hope they don't screw it up. Please don't touch it. And if you touch it, don't only touch it a little bit. Just poke the corpse with a stick. Don't get closer. You know what I mean? What if any genetic difference between an Ogryn and a Bulgrin? Well, Ogrins are born that way, and Bulgrins are born that way. That's the difference. I don't think there's any difference. I think an Ogryn is a Bulgrin, and a Bulgrin is an Ogryn. Do you ever think they'll put the Emperor in 30k? No, I don't think they will. I think they'll bring the Emperor out in 40k at some point. Maybe in a decade, maybe 2 decades time, maybe 3 decades time. I think he might leave his golden throne and start rampaging around the galaxy again off the back of a new crusade once all the Primarchs are out. That's what I think. I think the Primarchs are coming back bit by bit by bit, because Primarchs sell. And I think the Emperor might be coming back. And he might not be on the throne, you know. He might not be on the throne. Nobody thought they'd put Primarchs in 40k. It depends how low the stock goes. It's not, no, because the stock has gone up since 8th edition 2,400%. And when they launched on the FTSE, like last week or the week before, it went up another 10%. And then Amazon's coming, it keeps going up and up and up. Geeks have won. Geeks have taken over the world. It keeps going up. They're just doing it because it's that Primarchs are the reason why, part of the reason why stock is going up. They release Primarchs. People buy the Primarchs. I would like them to make general firing reactions, snap firing. I've got no problem with... See, the thing about it, everyone can do a reaction. And then some people can do 2 reactions. Full reaction over what? Not snap firing. I like the fact that you have to think about it. If everyone could just snap fire, then 2 things. It would... Or even if one unit could snap fire, then it takes away the idea of, Because there's occasions where you land and you're like, I'm going to charge that unit. So I need to shoot the crap out of that unit because they've all got melters, or they've all got las cannons, or they've got something. I need to put some time and effort into hurting that unit before I charge the unit. Otherwise, the overwatch is going to be horrible. Or the return fire is going to be horrible. So I'll shoot at that unit with a bit of this, and you whittle it down. There's a decision process that needs to be made, because the return fire can be brutal and overwatch can be absolutely brutal. If it was just snap firing, that decision that's part of the fun, I think. That's part of the fun, the hobo. Emperor in 30k, please. I don't think he's coming. I think a lot of AOS shenanigans are going to bleed over into... No, what happened was all the 40k shenanigans bled into AOS. That's the way that went. Horus is teased as Horus is teased with the "I will wait for you." He didn't say, "I will wait for you." He said, "I wait for you, I forgive you." That's what he said. I wait for you, I forgive you. It's... And also, there's also the theory that he was saying, "I wait for you," to Leto and or Grammaticus or Ol Pearson, one of them, and "I forgive you" to Horus. So, do you think you could play the Emperor then like Gambit card? Yeah, I mean, the Emperor is like play a card, win. I mean, they should release an Emperor model. Why haven't they got an Emperor model? It doesn't have to have rules. Emperor model. If you're doing the Warhams and you haven't got the Emperor model, are you doing the Warhams? You know what I mean? Happy Tuesday, let's get it. Thank you. Failing makes Heresy fun. It does. The bits in Heresy are the... I played a game of Heresy yesterday, and I passed my leadership test to a pinning thing, and then we remembered that Mortarion was close by. He caused fear too, so I was pinned. And that's cool. The fact that, hey, I would have passed that test, but there was a Primarch there. The Rhino blew up, killed a couple of guys, and then when you take wounds from an explosion from a vehicle, you have to take a pinning test. So they, even though they weren't even inside, there's shrapnel blowing off nearby, and they're like, well, and they would have been fine, but there's a Primarch there, so they were pinned. I like those extremes that they've snipped out of other game systems. Pinning, falling back, shell shock, it's good. It's good. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of time before the Primarchs come back. Whether the Emperor comes back as a fully... I don't think the Emperor needs to be a playable thing. I think they just release the model. If all the Primarchs come back for 40k... right, and you've got all the Demon Primarchs, and then you've got the Lion and Guilliman right now. And then soon, at some point, you'll have all the plastic Primarchs at some point. And if you've got all of them, then you need an Emperor model, and you need a Malkador model, and you need a Constantine Valdor model. You need them with the thing. Like on my shelf right now, I've got Angron and Mortarion, and every time I see Angron and Mortarion, I think, damn it, I need Magnus because Fulgrim's coming. Because I'm going to get Fulgrim. Need the Fulgrim. Emperor's Children, gotta have the Fulgrim. Don't think he's that great, but he's a Demon Primarch, so gotta have the Fulgrim. And then there'll be 3 up there, and then I need Magnus, and I don't even have a Thousand Sons army. I mean, whoever plays Thousand Sons. Do you know what I mean? Who plays Thousand Sons? I'm not going to suddenly go out and start collecting Thousand Sons. Maybe Stylus will sell me a Magnus model. Horus returning as an Imperial Demon Primarch that can join any loyalist army would be interesting. I'd absolutely... Yeah, a Malkador model. Malkador... Can we have Malkador and the Emperor, please? That would be lovely. The Emperor really wasn't a fighter in the Heresy, except at the Siege. He wasn't really a fighter at the Siege either. In the physical sense, he was fighting the exoplanar war. The only time during the Heresy that we saw him get to do full-on Emperor stuff is in the War on the Webway. Then he got to do some full-on Emperor stuff. We did get to see in one of the short stories, like the Ruin of Ulanor, with Horus and the Emperor toe-to-toe, having a good fight there. That was lovely. Are you excited for Emperor's Children? Yes, I'm really excited for Emperor's Children. I'm late to the live stream tonight because I was painting up more Emperor's Children Terminators. 2 units of 5. I bought 10 Emperor's Children Terminators, right? The box is coming. The box is here. I was painting the box and got the codex. It's like, right. They also can bring Chaos Terminators and Mauler Fiends and a Land Raider. So I got the Land Raider. I got the Mauler Fiends. And I bought 10 Terminators. Really looking forward to deep striking in 10 Terminators. And they come in units of 5. So now I've got 2 units of 5 Terminators. Why can't we have a unit of 10 Terminators? Why is it only the Imperial guys who get the 10 Terminators? Why do they have to all have all the fun? Luton 09's last video was a good one. Luton 09's videos are all good. What was his last one? I forget what it was, but I did watch it all the way through. I can't remember. There's a good book from Graham McNeil with the Emperor and Horus. There's many good books from the Emperor. Yeah. What about Malkador rules for 30k? You could put in Malkador rules for 30k, but then they would be like Primarch level rules. I mean, he is up there with Magnus, and he's up there. He's up there. Hey, Winters, just got my 30k Mechanicum box going for the Auto Reductor. Auto Reductor's really cool. Auto Reductor likes reducing things to sludge. Yeah. Get your Uzurax, get your Thalax, get your Castellax and Thanatars, and get a lot. If you had a couple of boxes of Uzurax, 2-3 Thanatars, all the Thalax and all the Castellax, that's a list. That's all you need. Just right there is a good, strong thing. And then off the back of that, you can add in your tanks, you can add in all the things, you can do all the stuff. 5 biggest problems with 40k video. Yeah, that's the one that Luton did, right? The 5 biggest problems with 40k lore, because they've kind of written themselves into a corner with a few things here or there. It was a very interesting, thought-provoking video. Didn't agree with all of the points, but it was an interesting, thought-provoking video. I do like the Luton videos. I do like all the Luton videos. Yeah. What else? Just got my Cataphractii Warsmith today. Nice. So glad I got my order in. It went out of stock on pre-order day. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, he's nice. That Cataphractii Warsmith is nice. I need the Raven Guard guy with the guns. I need him. Blue dice. Jackus Woods. Their dice are on order. They're being manufactured. Last time I got them with these dice, it took them 4 months to get them to me. But I've also got dice with these guys previously, and it only took a couple of weeks. I haven't had any emails. But when the blue dice get here, I will make a video, say we've got more blue dice. Do you have a very posh Mechanicum Armley mode? All my Mechanicum currently, 100% of my Mechanicum is resin. I haven't added any new bits because of all the new stuff that they came out for Mechanicum. I already had multiples of. I've already got a lot of Thalax. All the things, except for the transport, the Krios Armor transport, which I haven't added because there's nothing to put in it. You need Myrmidons to go in it, and there's not plastic Myrmidons yet, and I got plastic Myrmidons. So I'm doing very well, Edelgard. Thank you very much for asking. But yeah, all my Mechanicum is a very, very expensive item. Marius Gage is building a Warlord Titan. Legio Presegius, Pride of Ultramar. Dude, Warlord Titan build. That's going to be a month of building there. It's very, very heavy. Many months of painting. And when you're done, stick pictures of it all over the Discord. Let me check it out. Warlord Titan. Epic. They don't want... So previously the 30k models did have a lot of compatibility with 40k, but there was a lot of crossover at the start. But now the departments are trying to split each other apart even more and more and more, which is why a chunk of stuff has gone to Legends and why a chunk of stuff is in the Imperial Armor section. They don't want, from a business point of view, they don't want people with these armies being able to use them in that game system. They want people with these armies who want to play with that game system have to buy a whole new army to play with that game system. So they're trying to minimize the overlap. It'd be nicer for us all if there was more overlap. But there's a reason why they're a multi-billion-dollar company, is because they saw the overlap and they went, no, you can't have nice things. We're taking that away from you because money. Took me 9 months to build and paint my Reaver. Yeah, my Reaver, I do remember doing it. It took me a month to build it and a month to paint it. And that was just, I was on it. It takes a long time. Jean Wayne. Hey Winters, any advice for a good Heresy knight list? I got all the plastic knights, but I need a funny lore accurate idea for an army that's not only knights and unfun for me or my enemy. So knights aren't necessarily unfun, they're just strong in Heresy. And so if you're running knights and your opponents know you're running knights, it's... So I've talked about this before, like Heresy doesn't stop scaling. In 40k, you can bring a Warlord Titan and Snotlings, Grots shooting on that Titan, wound it on 6s. Because 6s wound in 40k. Heresy scales madly and keeps scaling and keeps scaling and keeps scaling. Because you can bring Primarchs, you can bring Titans, you can bring Knights, you can bring stuff that is impossible for stuff to wound. They literally have a rule called our weapons are useless when you can't hurt it. So in a Heresy, if you're bringing big stuff, you need to let your opponent know that you're bringing big stuff. So knights are fine so long as the social contract, talk about your opponent beforehand. If you want to tone down the knights list, you need 2 baby knights for every big knight that you bring. And it's about 4,000 points for that. So you can get, I think it's like, I don't know, math, 6, but you can have up to 6 baby knights for each big knight that you can bring. So the way to tone down a knight list, if you're stomping your opponents all the time, there's 2 ways to do it. One is take more baby knights rather than just the big knights. And the second way to do it is bring hoplites or peltasts. Hoplites or peltasts are the guys that run around the feet of the knights and titans. They can go in there as well. And the other thing is, don't bring the Astro, the one with the 2 really big guns who's 700 points. Don't bring that guy along. Atropos, he's broken as all hell. Don't get that one. And then knights are okay. Rue, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. I hope you're doing well, Rue. I hope you're feeling... GG's in the chat all round to Rue. Thank you, Rue. Absolute legend. GG's in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Atropos. Yeah, that's the name of the knight. If you have been gifted a membership, it gives you access to the Winters SEO Discord and a little badgy thing, so thank you very much. Tier 1 gets you the custom badges and emojis. Tier 2 gets you access to the Discord, and Tier 3 unlocks an extra battle report every single Winters Wednesday. If you've been gifted a membership and you want to upgrade for just £1, then you can, and get your Tier 3, and then get access to more battle reports. There was loads of questions up there that have zipped by. I don't know where. Do you think the thwarty kit... You'll have to ask me those questions again, guys. I'm down here now. Do you have any vids interest in Necromunda? Just curious. Yes. I've got 2 full campaigns of Necromunda on the members, which you can find if you become a Tier 3 channel member. I love Necromunda. It is 40k meets role-playing games. James has gifted 20 memberships. Don't even know James is. He's just dropped in. Hi, James. Thanks for joining. Lurking in the background, not saying anything, just dropping a bombshell off the top ropes, gifting 20 memberships. You absolute legend. GG's in the chat all round, please. Thank you so much, Rue. Thank you so much, James. Absolute legends. 20 memberships. Keeps the lights on, keeps the hobby going. I wouldn't be here without you. Here's a secret, by the way. If people stop coming around to play me, there'd be no more videos. But people keep, for some reason, wanting to come around and play me. So it's all because of you guys. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Holy heck. Crikey caramba. Golly gosh. You guys are legends. Thank you. Where is James? James hasn't said anything. He's just walked in here, unzipped his flies and flopped it out on the counter and said, there you go, there's 20. Without a word. Oh, there's James. GG, guys. Cheers. I love the channel. I want to support Horus Heresy stuff. Thank you. And then Servo Skull, not to be outdone, he's already gifted about 20 members. Servo Skull drops in and gives another 5 memberships. So GG's in the chat for Servo Skull as well. Oh, dear. I'd love to get in a game with you one day, Winters. Eternal Crusader, join the Discord. Hit me up there. Tell me about yourself. Send me pictures. You need to make your way to Swindon. And then if you pass all the tests, so you need to find, all the tests and the electroshock therapy and all the stuff. And if your painting is Golden Demon standard, then one day you might be able to get on the channel as well. But I assure you, you'll be vastly disappointed because you'll be in a small room with an old man interrupting you a lot, interrupting the game that you're playing a lot in order to turn a camera on and off. When I say a camera, it's a phone. Playing with Winters for a game has got to be on the bucket list. No, it's not. Swindon is dark and full of terrors. It is. Winters, if you're available, I have an APOC HH game in May. You're welcome to join us if you wish. Thank you, the hobo. In May, I'm going on holiday at the beginning, and then when I get back from holiday, I've got a lot of filming to do because I've gone on holiday in the mini. I'm looking up at my calendar now, like May's full, June's full, July's full, August is full, September is when it starts opening up. So if anything's got anyone got anything happening around September, we can start doing. But mind you, at the end of September, it's the narrative event that I'm going to be running in a small room with an old man. I know. It's the narrative event I'm going to be running with muchwar.co.uk, which I started writing again. So I did write the stuff for the narrative event, and then I lost the pad that I wrote the stuff for the narrative event on. So I've been rewriting the ideas for the narrative event on the thing. I know where the setting is. I know the whys and the wherefores and the hows, what we're here. And I know the beginning and I know the end. So, and it's going to be 90 people in a room at Element Games in Manchester, and the details for the narrative event will come out either at the end of this week or the beginning of next. Around it, they'll come out by next Talkie Tuesday or the next Talkie Tuesday. The problem that I've got is I've run a few narrative events, quite a few, and I've run quite a few narrative campaigns. And in my experience, the one thing I've found when you're running a narrative, this is advice for you guys as well. If you're running a narrative campaign, so I've done a few narrative events and things, done a few narrative campaigns. If you're running a narrative campaign, then the golden rule that I've found is keep it simple, stupid. There's lots of things you can do when you're trying to run a narrative campaign. You can do the leveling up things. So each mission has an impact on the next mission. You can do lots of things that happen on each mission. You can do stuff with the weather, stuff with low gravity, stuff with an outside agency affecting the forces as they fight. There's lots of little things that you can do and rules interactions that you can include to give it that spice. But you add that on top of standard rules, detachment rules, scoring, the general complexity of Warhammer 40k as it stands right now. Add that in with all your rules and the fact that there's supposed to be a story and a story arc going on. It can snowball very, very quickly. So when it comes to the missions itself, you need to keep it simple, stupid. It needs to have some clear objectives. And if there's if there's any weird distortion effects going on with weather or warp or chaos or whatever, or forges blowing up in the distance and gusting your battlefields with radioactive wastes in turn 3, these rules, these interactions need to be quite simple and quite easy to pick up. They need to add a bit of flavor to the game rather than bog it down and make it complicated. And so if you're doing a campaign, keep it simple. Try not to link ongoing effects very much. Like game 1 should be chapter 1. Game 2 should be chapter 2. Game 3 should be chapter 3. And they can be standalone with minimal stuff linking each one. Like maybe you get a couple of command points if you win a thing. Or maybe if your warlord gets hurt, he can't sit in for the next mission. One of the problems that Games Workshop have with the Crusade system, and one of the reasons why so few people play it, from all the feedback I get, is because there's more rules on top of your rules, and some of the rules can get very complex very, very quickly. It needs to be short. It needs to be... What they should do with the Crusade rules, Games Workshop, is give us a book with a fantastic setting in, with lots of beautiful art and lots of beautiful maps. Because if you're doing a Crusade, you want art, you want maps, you want story, you want a twist at the end. Get that bit right. And then the missions themselves help tell that story with the settings and the narrative and the twist at the end. And then the rules themselves, make them as simplified as you can and not as complex. Take away the complexity, because the Crusade rules are often too complex, particularly for casual players who are only playing the game a bit here, a bit there. So writing the rules for the current thing that I'm thinking of, I often find myself taking bits out. Like you throw a load of ideas down and then take all the bits out and leave in the bits, the meat and potatoes that help you tell the story and pull people into the narrative. Keep it simple, stupid. That's my advice on writing narrative stuff. That one might make a good short, so I'm going to put a thing down on there at what time we are on. That could be a good one. Where are we? Hello, Wojciech. Have you started your Heresy Night Lords yet? I've not started my Heresy Night Lords, despite having 50 Assault Marines down there, Sevatar up there, 15 car Terminators, 15 Night Raptors up there, 2 Scorpiuses, and a bunch of other stuff. Because after I got all that stuff and sat down and Games Workshop sent through Emperor's Children, so I'm working on Emperor's Children for Warhammer 40k right now, and I've been painting Emperor's Children like a madman for 40k, and I think I'm going to probably be painting Emperor's Children until the summer. I think 2 boxes of it, plus a bunch more stuff, plus all the demons. I reckon I could get a good 5,000, 6,000 points of Emperor's Children for 40k. A nice, solid project. And I'm in 40k heaven right now, by the way. I've smashed Eisenhorn, I've smashed Ravener, I've smashed Beckwin. I'm listening to the Magos now, which is the short stories of Eisenhorn, Ravener. And that's 20 hours on the Audible. I went out for a bit to do Double Eagle, Interceptor City, and Titanicus, which are another 3 Dan Abnett books. I've got Talos lined up, the Night Lords trilogy, for when I finish this one. I'm currently in 40k heaven, delving into a project, painting away like a madman. I really enjoy myself. What's Sunday's game? More Emperor's Children? No. Sunday's game is 3,000 points of Eldar, Craftworld Eldar. I've been struggling against the Craftworld Eldar since their new codex, so I thought I would unleash tanks. Lots of tanks. My Guard Traitor Force. I'm backed up with some Scions and a Valkyrie. And some 3,000 points of Eldar versus tanks. That's what's coming. What are the new Thousand Sun robots that are supposedly coming? Historically or lore-wise? So historically, many legions had Mechanicum help, close ties, things like that, blah, blah, blah. There was a Mechanicum force. I mean, the only legion that had a full Mechanicum arc fleet floating around with them all the time and were basically hand in hand all the way through the Heresy were the Iron Hands, but there were many others that had. So there's Ozarian. They had these robots. They had robots that fought with them. They had Mechanicum stuff that fought with them, and using magic and space woo-woo stuff, these robots were more thinking machines, more intelligent than your average Castellan robot. Their robots were the best robots. Rumors that they put souls in them, probably didn't before they turned, but after they turned, probably did. Demon souls, all the robots. Also, you got to think that the Thousand Sons weren't just all space wizards. The Thousand Sons were the librarians. The Thousand Sons were the watchers in Buffy. The Thousand Sons were the schoolmasters. They kept all the books in all the libraries. They were the knowledge hunters, gatherers of the... they were trying to compile all the leftover, forgotten, ignored, destroyed. They're trying to rebuild mankind. And there was a lot of knowledge out there. And the space woo-woo wizard stuff, well, it was a tiny bit of it. But there was lots of other knowledge on philosophy and architecture and how to build nice robots and how to make the best cup of tea, milk second, sugar always. Things like that. They were trying to re-establish. They were trying to remember the things that mankind forgot. And so building better robots was part of the journey. Yeah. So Dark Mechanicum or Vashtar loaned bots to the Thousand Sons. New. They had their bots beforehand. Before Vashtar was ever a thing. They had their bots before the Dark Mechanicum came along. Many legions had many robots and mechanicum assets embedded with them, and the Thousand Sons were one of them. And the Thousand Sons particularly liked Castellan robots and Thalax. They had contingency. They had a lot of them with them, which they magicked up to make even better. So it was there from the start. It was part of the union of Mars and Terra. Hey, stranger, come knocking hobbies. Welcome. I miss you too, honey bun. Damn, Night Lord books or ruin your life. It will make you... Yeah, Night Lord... Yeah. The Night Lords trilogy should come with a warning. You will collect Night Lords if you read the Night Lords trilogy. Oh dear. How do I feel about Cawl? I like Cawl. Bellisarius Cawl, when he was first introduced, was one of these like, what? And I said it at the time. I did a short video on it like, well, who's this guy and what's going on and blah, blah, blah. I said, once the authors get their heads around him and integrate him properly, he makes sense now. So Bellisarius Cawl turns up in 40k in a couple of books, in 30k in a couple of books. Bellisarius Cawl in The Great Work. It's one of the... So a couple of individual books that they do, standalone books, 40k books, like the Fall of Cadia is really good. Interceptor Cities, really good. Brain, Fart, can't remember. There's a bunch of standalone 40k books which is really good, and Bellisarius Cawl's The Great Work is really good. Recommend it. It puts a lot of flesh on his bones, on his skeletal, mechanical bones, and helps explain a lot about who he is and what's going on and blah, blah, blah. He was locked away in a cave for a long time. He was told, do this until I get back. So his mechanical mind did it, and did it. Did it and did it and did it for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, making Primaris, improving, building the tank, until Guilliman got back. And then Guilliman got back and he's like, oh, you're back. He didn't even say, where have you been? He was like, right, fine, let's go. Look, I did this thing. And he likes his showmanship as well. In the Dawn of Fire series, book 1, the great reveal to the Council of Terror, and Guilliman like, look at all these wonderful things I've made you. You told me to make things until you came back. Look at my 40k hobby shelf. Jungle is massive. And yeah, that kind of makes sense. He was shoehorned in a bit at the start, but it's all making sense now. Like the Horus Heresy, when that dropped on the back of a Titanicus box set, Adeptus Titanicus, back in first edition, is like, the whole of the Imperium was ravaged by war 10,000 years ago, and everyone's like, what? That was a bit shoehorned in there, but the lore was in a bit of a shade. Shoehorning in things works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they do a horrible job. Sometimes they do a very horrible job. But Cawl and the way he fits in now, pretty good. Like the Arcs of Omens series for Vashtor, that was done pretty well as well. The Gathering Storm set with the Great Rift, not so good, but it works, you know? Yes. Glad to hear him. Big fan of Cawl. Guy Haley is a fantastic writer. Yeah. Thank you. That's how I feel about Cawl. In Midnight Clad, Night Lords. Execution Hour by Gordon Rennie, another great audio book. Execution Hour by Gordon Rennie. Why is it another great audio book? But I'm going to write it down. Why? Tell me these things. Execution Hour. Why is it good? Not what is it, but why is it? Execution Hour. I've got a few things. I'm writing that one up there. Put that one up there. Cawl built the Cawl Inferior. Very interesting. Yes, Cawl Inferior. Very interesting. Is he a Primarch? Sort of a Primarch. Cawl is a bit... See, Cawl seems very dodgy, but all the OG characters are all a bit dodge because things were different back then. And Cawl is OG. I mean, if Cawl wasn't 10,000 years old, he would have been executed as a tech heretic a long time ago. Heretic. But because he is so old, and because he has literally spoken to Primarchs and the Emperor, who they believe is the Omnissiah, the Mechanicum can hardly turn around and censure him because he knows a lot more than they have ever forgot. Built or cloned? Cloned from what? Primarch material. He could have been cloned. Primarch material. Could have been cloned. Could have been cloned. You don't feel this? Yeah, the shoehorning. There's some shoehorning that goes on. The best way to develop the lore is like the Yellow King stuff. Is like what the authors, the Yellow King, and what does that mean, and what's the implications of? Give it to the writers, like they did with the Heresy. The best way to develop the lore is give it to the proper writers. Let them develop the lore, not an intern in the rules writing department who's been told, "Hey, make this new model work." Don't let them do it. Let someone who is, yes. Shadow Point is the team up between Imperium Navy and Eldar against Chaos and Drukhari. It's really good, like Macnon Gauntlet, Nachman Gauntlet. Don't Nachman? Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's things going on. The Nachman Gauntlet is going on. The Pry Nexus is going on. The Leviathan thing is going on. The Tau thing with the 5th Sphere expansion going on. Fulgrim absolutely smashing the Ultramarines is going on, but then when Guilliman got back, it was Mortarian smashing the Ultramarines. There's a lot of things going on right now, but the galaxy is a very, very big place. Titus is going on. Titus is... Let the writers write, is what I'm saying. Let the writers do the writing for the lore. But Titus is going... There's a lot of things going on, but the galaxy is a really big place. Like when you do the Sabbath Worlds Crusade and Titanicus and Interceptor City and Gaunt's Ghost and all that. I mean, that whole thing, and War Master Makarov is in a teeny tiny section of the galaxy. The galaxy's big. It's a big place. Wait, Fulgrim is smashing the Ultramarines. What have I missed? In the Codex. Where's the Codex? So yeah, the Emperor's Children Codex coming out, and in it they got some lore. And so they had to throw Fulgrim at someone in the lore. So in there, they've decided that there's a bit of a war going on with Fulgrim smashing the Ultramarines. So that's where he is right now, smashing the Ultramarines. They did exactly the same thing with Mortarian and Guilliman. So whoever wrote the thing clearly wasn't there when they did the Gathering Storm thing, because they've just basically nicked the same beat. Don't worry, Fulgrim won't die, Guilliman won't die, everything will be fine. Guilliman isn't there at the moment because Indomitus Crusade. But yeah, there's a thing going on with the Emperor's Children and the Ultramarines right now. It'll be fine. It's just where Fulgrim, what's happening. You know what I mean? Fulgrim is also going after a Black Templar in his upcoming book release. Yeah, so maybe in his book release it'll be like when The Lion came out, his book release was all the stuff in Lion and Son of the Forest happened before any of the bits that turn up in the actual Codex and the actual Arcs of Omen stuff. So they released the Codex. They release Arcs of Omen. This is the Lion. This is what's going on. This is how he's handling himself. And then you buy the book Lion, Son, and the Forest, which is one really good standalone book, by the way. Really good. Highly recommend. And it's all set before then, like literally him waking up, and it's so yeah. Wait. Did they fix that Lion story? No, son. They haven't fixed the Lion. It's just the way it is. The Lion story has stopped. The Lion story hasn't moved for 2 years. You got the Lion waking up, Son of the Forest, right? Yes. Then you have the Arcs of Omen stuff, which is the Lion meets up with the Blood Angels and takes part in trying to destroy Vashtor and Wormwood, the big machine that he made, which is an old world webway digging machine, tunneling, boring device that basically builds its own webway things, or similar to. It can burrow between this reality and the other reality. It's led by Talchulka, is the thinking machine at the heart of it, who's a callback to Heresy times. Anyway, Vashtor's got a machine that can dig between dimensions and into extant space as well. Yellow King reference there. Pandemonium reference there. The Impossible City reference there. Places like that. He's got a machine that can dig when and where it wants to. The Lion turns up. Really big fight. Angron turns up. Really big fight. Lots and lots and lots of people die. Vashtor escapes. End of the Arcs of Omen book. Vashtor escapes. And then the good guys get out of there. And only about 25% of them get out of there. At the same time, Dante, the Lion, side by side, also meet up with Azrael and the Dark Angels. So the Lion has finally met with the Dark Angels in the Arcs of Omen book. And they don't share a word. And then we haven't had any more lore about the Lion in the last 2 years. He hasn't even had a chat with Guilliman yet, despite the fact that he's clearly going around the galaxy now. We have had Vashtor come back. Vashtor has dug his way out of wherever he was with Wormwood, which was Caliban, which is now a machine led by a demon engine, which the Lion had. And he's in the middle of the Prior Nexus, causing all sorts of trouble in the middle of the Prior Nexus. Looking for the key, which will... the tunneling device, Wormwood, is the key to find the lock. He's got the key. Now he needs to find the lock to stick it in. And behind the door with the thing, the MacGuffin, will be a secret which will change the face of the galaxy they're all talking about. And the same in the Beckwin thing and the Yellow Kit. They change the face. There's something momentous that could potentially be happening at some point. 11th edition, 12th edition, don't know. Some point. Hi, Andrew Comas. We don't even know if Guilliman knows the Lion is back. We don't. We know the Lion knows Guilliman is alive. We do. The Lion knows Guilliman is alive, and he was very happy to find out, which is interesting, given their previous history, when the Lion nuked part of Macragge. But yeah, Guilliman is still called the Primarch by the galaxy. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know about the Lion. The Lion is just here, essentially. The Lion was in Imperium Secundus doing things, and now he's sort of like just here in the rest of the galaxy. He's just here. That's where we are. Current 40k lore, Lion wakes up, does a bunch of stuff in Imperium Secundus, comes back to Imperium Secundus, Imperium Nihilus, comes back to Imperium Sanctus in the Arcs of Omen books, and that's it. He's sort of like just here, so we don't know. So Cypher gives the sword back to the Lion, right? There's a book called Cypher. You can read that one as well. It's not great, but there is a book about Cypher and the sword and him running around on Terra. It wouldn't be one I recommend, but if you're a massive Dark Angel fan and you want to know what Cypher's up to, and it's good if you're a Dark Angels fan. Lion and Guilliman made up in Ruinstorm. They did, yeah. They did hug and... I mean, they're brothers. You'll fall out every now and then. You know what I mean? Hopefully the story bounces more at the end of 10th. We'll know if Mind Arcs of Omen. Yeah. What I want from the story is I want an overarching narrative written by John French and ADB and Dan Abnett and Graham McNeil. I want them to get together and do like a Dawn of Fire book series, or them to get together and do like a Beast of Riser series. Not a whole new Heresy with 70 books, but a nice 10-book series where it brings a lot of stuff together and moves us on to the next stage. I'd love to see that, but whether they do it or not, I don't know. Yeah, that would be nice. What else? What else was I going to talk about? Been doing the Emperor's Children. I wrote a few things down. Murder House, talked about that. I did want to shout out, by the way, that there's I appreciate the guys in the Discord who shout out to the new people who join the Discord, greetings and things, and he's one of us, and welcome to the party, pal. You guys who welcome the newcomers in. Thank you so much for that. It warms the cockles of my heart seeing those things, you know. Can't wait for a scouring series. Hopefully we'll get it. So upcoming videos. Tomorrow is the first part in a narrative campaign that I'm going to be filming with Overlord's Feldspar called Into the Deep. It's going to be a 3-part narrative campaign featuring the Leagues of Votan up against some Tyranids. The first one comes out tomorrow. The next one we're filming in May and then June. So it's going to be one of those campaigns where you'll get a bit now, and then a bit in a couple of months' time, and then a bit a month after that, because it all comes down to when Overlord Feldspar can come down here and play me. But the first one was banging. I'm looking forward to getting that out, and we've got a story arc in our brain with a beginning, middle, and end. So that one's exciting. That's tomorrow for Tier 3 channel members on the Winters Wednesday videos. At the weekend, 3,000 points of elves versus tanks. March of Winters is coming up on June the 14th. My one-day not tournament at Element Games in Manchester. I did check to see, because every now and then tickets come back on sale for that one. And there is one ticket suddenly come back up on sale. So if you want to meet me, and if you want to take part in a one-day event at Element Games in Manchester with 3 1,200 point games, I'm really looking forward to that one as well. I really like King in the North and a Weekend at Bernie's and March of Winters and all these community events. I really enjoy being there with the community, talking to you guys about your hobby for a change, and coming up with some really funny scenarios for you to fight over, like catching cats and getting touched by tentacles. So that's good. The upcoming narrative, I've been writing the things about that, and yeah, it's been good. I am in hobby heaven, guys. What about you guys? Are you in hobby heaven? What have you been doing lately? What are you working on? Is it all Emperor's Children? Is it Krieg? What are you excited about? What is coming round the mountain when she comes? Hi, Andrew Combs. I said it earlier on. There's some more stuff up there, which I completely missed. But yeah, guys, talk to me, Goose. Talk to me. Name that movie reference. This is Ghost Rider requesting flyby. Negative Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. Dark Angels, Deathwing, Terminators. Times 36. I mean, Dark Angels, Deathwing, Terminators are good. Get lots of 3 units of 3. Move them up the table. Sit them there. They don't go anywhere. Return of high elf models. We don't want high elf models. We don't want any elf models. Emperor's Children are coming. Yes. Hi, Frank the Fuzzball. Your ego is right and checks your body can't cash. Yeah. That is a great line. It's a great line. Oh, dear. Yeah. We been painting a custom model of Grimaldus. Fuck yeah. Grimaldus. ADB is so good. Hell's Reach is good. Hell's Reach is good. And then there's another follow-up to Hell's Reach. It's good. Thanatar Calyx from Plastic in the new box. Why so many tiny parts? Because you're a hobbyist and you know what you're doing. Part of the skill, part of the joy is using those tiny parts and finding all the things. But Thanatar Calyx, nice model. I'm excited for watching the Ultramarines movie on the 13th. It's my yearly tradition for March from a Crag. The Ultramarines movie, you watch it all the time. Your last Alpha Legion versus Emperor's Children made me rethink how to run my veterans. If you're doing veterans, I mean, Terminators are better. If you're doing Pride of the Legion as well, Terminators are better. And if you're doing Pride of the Legion, you're probably doing 2 units of Terminators with Emperor's Children. Sorry, 2 units of Terminators with Chaplains in Tartarus, probably, because they can run and they can move. But if you do veterans, veterans are punchy. Just give them punchy things. I would give Hammer on the Sarge all day long, because they're all chosen warriors. And I would put, if I did a proper veteran squad right now, I'd have Hammer on the Sarge and at least 4 or 5 guys with double lightning claws, and then the rest just wounds. So bolt pistol chainsaw, but don't make them shoot you. Rue, thank you for gifting another 5 memberships. Thank you. GG's in the chat for Rue again, dropping another 5 gifted memberships. Legend. What Chaos Primarch do you want to see come back now, Winters? Fulgrim. I'd like to see Fulgrim come back. And the other Chaos Primarch that I'd like to see come back is Leman Russ. I'd love to see Leman Russ come back after his time in the warp, all chaosified. And the Space Wolves are loyal as hell. But Leman Russ comes back. So we have 12th edition launch set, 11th edition, whatever. X edition launch set comes after a new trilogy by ADB, which culminates in Korax coming back, and he's a good guy and leading the Raven Guard, and Russ coming back with some evil Space Wolves, and then that throws a spanner in the works. I mean, Space Wolves still loyal, but Russ has gone completely like rabid dog. Thank you, Frank the Fuzzball, for gifting 5 memberships. GG's in the chat to Frank, please. GG's Rue, GG's Chank. I feel... thank you so much. You guys have been really generous this evening. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, an evil demon Russ would be lovely. Imagine that. Spanner in the works. Werewolf Primarch. Exactly. Like he could be full on. And then what did the Inquisition do? What did Guilliman do? What did Lion do? Knowing that he's a full on demon thing and he's got some demon hosts behind him and the Lion fell. That would be epic. Not that I want the Lion to fall. I want the Lion to stay loyal. Layman Russ, to stay loyal. I don't want any of the Loyalist Primarchs to fall personally. I don't. I'm an Imperial player at heart, but I think it would be epic if in the upcoming narrative, say Leman Russ fell to Chaos, and in the upcoming narrative we find out that Perturabo never fell to Chaos and has been loyal all its time, and in the War of the 9 Legions in the Eye of Terror he's just been beating the crap out of other Chaos Legions. Imagine that. Perturabo comes back and he's loyal. Leman Russ comes back and he's a full-on rabid dog. It just... Personally, I don't want that, but on a narrative level, and it's beautiful. Frank the Fuzzball was gifted another 10 memberships. I think this is the most gifting that has ever happened in the history of gifting. Thank you so much, guys. GG's in the chat for Frank. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have I done something different this evening? Did I? I had a shower earlier on. Maybe that's what it is. My glowing skin in the lot. I put the cream on and everything. Games Workshop can't write anything that good. No, that's what I mean. It's let ADB or Dan Abner or Graham McNeil say, look, guys, turn around to proper creative writers who've had books in the top New York Times top 10 bestseller list and say, guys, we want to bring these Primarchs back. And you tell the story. You tell how it happens. And this is the model, and this is the model, and this is what it's going to look like. And then they write the story, and then while the editing process comes in play, and then while that's going on, the Games Workshop staff can go, right, and they can read the story, all right, now, and then they'll build the codex books and the things around, and the launch around, and then aim the launch for the time when the last book in the trilogy comes out. And so you've got like the Beckwin sequence. So you've got something where Inquisitor, Tim is off doing Tim things. And then you've got the return of Grammaticus, because maybe he's not dead, tying the thread here, there, or everywhere. You drop him in there, and you've got Tim meets Grammaticus, and they bump into these guardsmen people, and they hear about this thing, about this upcoming demon thing, and all the politics, all the intrigues. Then we cut to the Palace on Terror, and Guilliman finally meeting the Lion, and stuff like that. Then we come back to Tim and Grammaticus, and the smaller internal story, and then a war kicks off somewhere, and this demon thing is seen. And then Guilliman rushes there, and it happens to be the world where Tim and Grammaticus is on, and Grammaticus has seen the signs, and he's like, we need to get out of here. And Grammaticus, it might be like 2 weeks after the Heresy, how that ended for him. It might just be, he's like, 1 minute, I was just there a second ago. What the hell is going on? Oh, I'm in the future. It could be that because he's cutting through space-time. And then boom, and then you find out that the demon thing is actually Russ. And then and it turns out that Korax has been chasing him, and you build that all in. And then when the final revelation comes out, boom, 12th edition launch box set and Russ and Korax on the cover. And of course, it could be Russ versus Evil Perturabo, and Russ is good and Evil Perturabo is bad, and you could just do it that way. But where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in that? Play it, twist with the, like Valdo and the King in Yellow and the thing, and then behind the scene, twist, play with it. They could, yeah, make it a spicy meatball, you know? Frank the Fuzzball is Frank the Tech Bro. Hi, Frank the Tech Bro. You changed your name. Okay. I prefer Frank the Fuzzball from... What you could do for me, if you want to change it again to Frank Tech Bro, that would help me an awful lot. I really appreciate your donations. Thank you so much. Servo Skull. You deserve nice things. It's just dropped words, and $19 super chat. You deserve nice things. I really do, you know. I really do deserve nice things. Don't we all? We all deserve nice things. I mean, I could do with... I mean, I'm good. Nice things. I just break nice things. I could do more miniatures. I'm looking forward to Fulgrim and getting all the demons to add to my thing. I deserve a loft, but she won't let me have him. NFL free agency this weekend. I see it. Yeah, I know. Yeah. But thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Frank Heresy. That's Frank Farsi. Yes. And Servos. Thank you, guys. Thank you. GG's in the chat all round. Servo Skull, Frank, Rue, all of you. Thank you. Basically, there's like 4 of you keeping it all going. And all the members as well. Loads of them. Frank, I told you before, 20 GG's. Thank Frank, stop it now. Actually, Frank the Fuzzball, dropping 20 gifted memberships. Absolute legend. You'll make me embarrassed. And I was going to go stop it now, but then I realised that you are a tech bro billionaire. And you've probably got your own rocket thing and sending up to... And then 7 houses in different countries and a yacht. And you spend most of your weekends away golfing in Japan and snorting cocaine off of hookers' bum cheeks. And your wife doesn't know anything about it. Your third wife, at least. The other 2, one in New York, one in Milan, they don't know either. It's the life of a tech bro. What can I say? Thank you. GG's in the chat. Holy wow. Holy cow. Frank the Fuzzball. I wish. Yeah. I mean, you know, lines of cocaine off of hookers' buttocks. In the buttocks. That's got to be. I thought that's what tech bros do. No comment. I've been married twice. Yeah, so you're now on to your 3rd. Soon. Yeah. It's just, now you've done it twice. At least the first time, clearly, in Vegas, didn't work out. Second time, you thought you got the right one, but you still had the baggage from the first one. 3rd time's the charm, my friend. 3rd time's the charm. Just sign the prenup. Signed the prenup beforehand. Loft, let's go. We can't talk about the loft. We don't talk about the loft, and we don't talk about what's in the box. What's in the box? We don't talk about that. The box will finally be leaving. Not next Tuesday, the Tuesday after. It will be leaving. But what's in the box? What's in the box? I watched that film the other day again. It's good. It holds up. It is an amazing movie. It's an amazing movie. Mind you, I watched Team America World Police the other day again, and that is an amazing movie too. Oh dear. I realised while I was watching it how many lines I could quote while I was watching it, thinking, I spent a lot of times watching this while at uni. Very, very drunk, didn't I? I remember most of this movie. Oh dear. Conrad Kurz is available on the web store. Just a heads up. He should arrive at mine in 3 play. Why do we no longer talk of the loft? We don't talk about loft. Would you ever do a sort of film multiplayer competition of Battles of the Cobra? Maybe. Frank, we'll get back to that. Rue gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, GG's Rue. I'm scared to stop the stream right now because it's It's rolling in, guys. Thank you so much, Rue. I appreciate you. GG's for Rue again. The three of you holding up the whole right. Winters, would you ever do a filmed multi-tier competition of battles with a cool prize for the winner? Would I ever do? We'll never say never, but to do a multi-tier competition of battles, I would need to line up a number of people who would want to come round here semi-regularly and do it competitively with a prize at the end. And I don't know if you've seen the channel, but we don't do much competitive stuff. So actually doing that would be very difficult, given it all relies on people coming around here. I said earlier in the stream, if people stopped coming here, then I stopped making videos. And I'm very, very, very grateful to everyone who comes round from a long way away and chooses to play in and thank you for another 20 memberships. You absolute legend. Another 20 legend. Frank the Fuzzball, who was Frank Farsi, who should be just Frank Tech Bro, or Frank Bro. Frank the Bro. Frank, I'll try and remember Frank the Thing is now the new Frank. I'll just change it to Tech Bro. I don't know. Frank the Fuzzball. Bloody hell, Frank, well done, says Jackus Woods. Yeah. He's got 7 yachts and his own spaceship. He's a legend. I appreciate you. Maybe not 7 yachts, maybe just 2. And the spaceship is remote controlled. He's not that much of a tech bro, but he is a tech bro, apparently. I don't know. It's just, he's someone who worked very, 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 very hard. That's the other thing I found about like people who like complain about CEOs and people and stuff like that. Like one of my friends' dads is a retired CEO of a director. He wasn't CEO, he was the director of a housing association. Not housing association, what is it called? Building association. What are they? Yeah, building society, that's the word. He was a director of a building society. And my mate's dad retired when he was like 55 or something. But I remember my mate didn't see his dad for like 20 years. He'd be in the car park at 5 o'clock in the morning. There'd be a competition to see who would get in the car park first. And then he'd be home at like 10 o'clock at night. These guys just work. There are some insane people out there that if you give them an axe and leave them in a forest, when you come back in the morning, all the trees will be cut down. If you give me an axe and leave me in the forest, I'll make a nice fire and I'll have a start at a log cabin. I'll be thinking about food very early on or looking at mushrooms, wondering if you can eat them. And I don't think I could skin a fox or anything like that. Maybe slingshot a squirrel. Stick a skewer up its ass, burn it over a thing. I could probably do a squirrel, but a fox or a badger, and badgers are full of diseases. If you give me an axe and leave me in a forest, I'll be dead pretty quickly. But I might have a nice fire and a nice hut going by the time you find me. Some people like Frank, and some people like my friend, they just work all the time, and they're the people who make the lights and the buildings and the things happen, and they're legends, I think, and they get a lot of hate. Some of them probably deserve the hate. But the ones that I've known of personally are just madmen who just work. And I think that's what it takes to get to the top. My friends have to wonder what nice. Winters, your videos are the best battles on the net, hands down. Thank you, Frank the Fuzzball. I appreciate you. I wouldn't say best. I wouldn't say the best ones on the internet. They're the ones that you like the most. Best is relative term. Those I appreciate that we are vibrating on the same wavelength when it comes to the things. Jagged Khan versus Demon Russ. That would be good. The Khan versus Demon Russ would be good because he's a hunter. He's a slayer. That's what they do. He continued the hunt into the webway at the end of the thing for the thing. I remember when I once started watching Winters and it was 8th edition Battle Rap. You're an amazing content creator and streamer with a great community who cares about your content. Keep up the great work. Damned Legion. Damn, son. Thank you very much. I will agree with you that I have a great community who cares about my content. Definitely have a great community. I feel very blessed. And 8th edition, you've been watching my bat reps, huh? It's a long time. I appreciate you too. Absolute legends in the chat this evening. Thank you. Same for me. My dad would have left house at 6:30, returned at 10:30, managing the largest fruit and vegetable selling company here. I've not seen him till he went on a pension. Yeah, at 70. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, you didn't see your dad forever because he just worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. And some people are just built that way. And I think you need to be built that way if you want to end up running a $1 billion company. It's just the way it is. Like when I had a proper job, when I worked in the factory, by the end of I started off as a temp, and by the end I ended as a line manager. So I was responsible for, I was the minimum level of manager. And towards the end, there was opportunities of promotion to go up to production manager. There was a number of production managers, but they had one production manager in charge of everything on night shifts, because I did 3 on, 3 off, 3 on, 3 off, 3 on, 3 off, 3 sets a day, 3 sets a night, 3 sets a day, 3 sets, 12 hours. And then there was a couple of opportunities that came by towards the end where I could have become a production manager, but time. It wouldn't have been 3 on, 3 off anymore. You have to come in for meetings. You have to come in earlier. You have to stay later. You had to. It got to the point where you're in charge of a place when no one else is around. I just didn't have that level of commitment in me. Not for that place anyway, because it was a goddamn nightmare. It was awful working there. Awful. It broke me. It was terrible, and there was no way. But that's what it takes. That's what it takes. My dad was a worker. Barely saw him, but he was great. Loved him a lot. Retired and sadly passed away within 4 years. Yeah. I spend a lot of time with my kids now. Yeah. Has Frank buggered off? Vintage your videos. Frank, oh no, you're saying amen to what Frank said over. Take care, Frank. What? Good to see everyone. Happy War Gaming. Went to see you in a couple of months. Night. Oh, Frank's gone. Thank you, Frank, for coming in here, and if you watch this later, and dropping those bombshells and buggering off. Yeah, and GG Roo. My dad was a worker, Billy. You saw that? Same for me, my dad. But yes. How long have we been going? Over an hour and a half. Have I said all the things? I'm going to do the now. I've said all the things. I think I've said all the things. Is there any more things that you guys need, want, questions and things? How are we doing out there? I've run out of coffee. And it's too late to have it in. I've got no more fluid around me. I need water. I need leftover chicken wraps that she made earlier on. They were delicious. These wraps with the small wraps with the chicken, with a bit of peri-peri mayonnaise, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of crispy onion, a little bit of salad wrapped up. Oh my God. The crispy onions as well give that extra bit of you know. You can't really taste them very much, but in the wrap, which is normally a soft taste, so wraps, but you got that crispy onion to give the and there's another 2 waiting for me down, and I can't eat it too late. I need Ultramarine's best chapter. I did say so. We did the STC. Ultramarines were one of the best chapters that we agreed on. They were up there. Did I hear you say you were at uni? Yes, I was. I did philosophy. A very useful skill. I was mainly at uni to try and not go to work. So I went to uni. It turned out I worked harder than I ever had at uni because I was doing the uni thing, and then I had to pay for uni at the same time, and I got no financial support from any of my family or the university. So I basically worked a full-time job and did university at the same time, thinking, because the first 6 months I thought, I can live off of student loans and I can live off of overdrafts. And after 6 months, I've run out of student loans and overdrafts. I had to get a job. And so for the next 2.5 years, worked my butt off and came out of university with tens of thousands of pounds worth of debt. And a degree I'd never need to do. But it was awesome. You don't go to university. You go to university for two reasons. One, because you need to, because you're going to become a doctor, a lawyer, dentist, engineer, something or other. You need that to get there. So that I completely understand. Or then there's the rest of us like me, which go there for the experience of it. And it was a lovely experience. I did a lot of role-playing, Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Did a lot of White Wolf role-playing. Did a lot of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Played quite a lot of bit of Adeptus Titanicus and Space Hulk in uni as well. And didn't paint very miniatures around those 3 years. Didn't do any 40k during the UK uni years because I didn't have enough time. But yeah, still mad into the hobby. Space Hulk, what else did I do at uni? It was Adeptus Titanicus, Space Hulk, and there was another game that we smashed quite a bit. And I forget what it was. Hero Quest. We smashed the and Talisman. Smashed the shite out of them for the 3 years that was there. Southampton. It's quite a nice city. Much better than Swindon. So yeah, I did philosophy. Which is just talking about talking, really. Loved Hero Quest. Hero Quest epic. I think Talisman is probably the greatest board game that they released. But Hero Quest epic. Absolutely amazing. People talk about like Dark Fate. That one, not so good. I did Chainsaw Warrior, not so, but Talisman 2nd edition was just immense. Hero Quest and Advanced Hero Quest, immense. Both very, very good game systems. Very good games. They should bring it back. Maybe it is back. I don't know. Any interest in playing D&D these days? No. Well, yes. The thing is, when I was role-playing, I was 99% of the time... I've played as a character in a couple of role plays, like 2 or 3 or 4 in my life. But the other 40, I was always the DM or GM, which is probably why that 10,000 hours of telling stories probably helps with the YouTube channel. But so I would be in, if playing one, running it, ain't no one got time for that. But playing one, it's yes, there is interest. The question is there? The answer is yes. Yes, there is. There's interest in lots of things. And that's one of them. Right. I think we have to draw a line under this madness. I've been going on for far too long. You guys have got lives to get on with. And if I stay on here for much longer, more of the Americans will come on. Okay? There's already a few Americans in the chat. But if we get inundated with Americans, then we'll all be talking about football and guns before we know it. Like American football and guns and things. And barbecues and stuff like that. And, you know, we all like guns. We all like war. We all like exterminators. That's fine. American football, I like that. You guys don't. And barbecues, have you seen the weather right now? Barbecues in the UK is like 2 days a year. You can do the barbecues. So, see, look, the Americans stepping up. Guns. I like guns. And then the Canadians will join in as well and tell the Americans to calm down a little bit because they're nice and polite. And they'll talk about, I don't know, their feelings. And then if we stayed on even longer, then the Australians will truly wake up and then all hell will break loose. And before we know it, there'll be murder on the dance floor. There will be. Feelings? Yeah. Canadians. They're nice people. They'll ask you how you're feeling a lot. How are you feeling? Whereas Americans will tell you how they're feeling. And British, we don't talk about our feelings. That's the rules. And then Australians, they don't give a fuck about feelings. Just beer. And punching kangaroos in the face. I love it though. All the different flavours, all the different tastes, all the different chocolates in the chocolate box from all around the world. What a marvellous world we live in. All we need is the Emperor of Mankind to rise up and unify us all and send us out across the galaxy to destroy all the Xenos and take over. That's all we need. What a lovely mud ball we live on. So yeah, that was epic. Got quite deep at the end there. I got quite emotional. Thank you for all the chats and all the members and I've never had over 100 new members in a live stream. So thank you, the 3 or 4 of you that pitched it all in. Mark, I just got here. Gonna rewind and watch from the start. What's a good highlight? I don't think there is any good content here whatsoever. There's 0 good highlights. Just watch it through on YouTube at double speed or something, or 1x5 speed. You might find something that'll make you laugh at some point. Honestly, Mark, this might be the highlight of the stream. Me saying there are no highlights and amazed that people are here at all. Yes. But there was a nice bit where the princess, she killed the dragon and then rescued the prince. That bit of the story, that twist, that was a nice bit. All except Yank chocolate. Yeah, American chocolate's not very good. Oof, F-bomb. I try not to. If occasionally, I'll listen while I paint. Yeah, paint. Put me on in the background. Paint away. Always a good one. Anyway, do Brits feel so proud of your what? They're not Canada and Australia, they're not our babies. They're not. That's not how that worked. They escaped. They got away. And if I was back in the day, I'd go to Australia as well, because criminal I am, or go to Canada or something. I mean, it's raining. It's always raining. They're not our babies. They're they're lovely people, and yeah, it's good. Voice, yeah, painting, right, good. I'm going. I think. Yes, son. Okay. Be nice to the babies. Right. I think we're tidying up. Are we tidying up? I've been trying to say goodbye for the last 5 minutes. I'm saying goodbye for the last 5 minutes. They're our ex-wives. That's the way to think about it. Thank you, Marius Gage, coming in with the sensible stuff. If you are living in the colonies, just know that all of us here in the old world, you're like our exes. Like, we loved you once, but now just don't call or write. Yeah. It's I mean, look, some people get on with their ex-wives, okay? Some people do. And maybe they're ex-wives because they left us. It's that way round. It's not like ex-wives. They're like the ex-wives, actually, that we pine for still. Because they're the ones that got away. That's the way it is. But we're on to a better wife now, and we've signed a prenup, and it's all good. And she's a lot younger. Like, when you get older, you want to trade one in for a younger model, right? Like, you see these 8-year-old dudes, and their 7th wife is 20 years old. You know, if you get, it's all about that, innit? If you were a billionaire, you would trade them in for a younger model, with impact, you know, airbags everywhere, 4x4, younger model, off-road ability, good gun rack, a nice body wrap, like a peach body wrap with a train steam horn for your horn, like on the thing. You want a model like that, with machine guns strapped on the front bonnet, which come out through the headlights. That's a sort of younger, stiffer, tougher model that you want if you were a billionaire. And yeah, that's why there are those things in. I have no idea what I'm saying. Hope your missus doesn't watch. She doesn't watch it. She doesn't watch any of these. Press the things. I'll press the things. Good night. Happy wargaming. Monkey, it doesn't matter what you walked into. I was trying to close up the thing. I've been trying to close up the stream for some time now, okay? And then I lost my chain of thought. We were talking about, it doesn't matter. It was a horror. I was trying to find an analogy, a comedy thing, and trying to stitch it together, but my brain, there was no way of peeling that orange without making a mess. It wasn't an easy peel orange that just falls off and you can shove the whole thing in your mouth. It was a complicated orange I was trying to unpeel there, and I wasn't able to unpeel any of it. So in the end, I just gave up. So what you walked into was a middle-aged man giving up on ideas mid-sentences while trying to say thank you to his audience and goodbye to his audience and thank you to the community and goodbye to the audience here and thank you for all the things and join the Mug Club and become a member if you haven't already. And I did talk about the Murder House at the beginning of the stream, and I really enjoyed myself at the Murder House. Everyone there was a legend except for Monkey. Apart from him, running up the things and throwing poo at people and eating all the bananas. Apart from that, what have the Romans ever done for us? Goodbye, Wrath of Constantine, Mark, Servo Skull, Jackus Woods, Mariscave, Red Richmonds, Young King, Mark, Dazef Darkwood, the Eternal Crusader, Stigheap, and everyone else who watched this evening. I'm going to go now, probably. I'm going. Happy Wargaming.